that's taken over for me.
Ah, okay. Oh, let's see how the feed is doing. We are still good. I actually have to do a little tech stuff right now, believe it or not. I know, right? Because I'm not home, so I have to check the streaming. I have to check that I have enough data. Behind the scenes. See if there's anything on the Facebook, too. Eli just said that she was here. We got also just posted a video of Jen dancing. I'm going to change that because she wants to be able to share it herself. Yes, I have big, fat, tubby fingers. But you know what they say. I'll have to do it later. You know what they say, big hands and feet, big shoes and gloves. So let's go with Matthew Guy's question. If I could pull it up here. I thought Joe was coming over, but of course he vanished. Joe just wanders off. He's always done this. Yes, I am. I'm talking to the internet. Yeah. I don't know. I have nothing to do with the charity program this year because we are live streaming the entire time the K90 goes on. So if you want, go to YouTube /user/Kray Strode. You can watch us blathering on like idiots yesterday. I'm blathering on like idiots today.
Put it on as background noise.
Or and every so often, Jen comes over and dances. It's a beautiful thing. So, how did Kirby shape the image revolution in Underground Comics? I actually, with Undergrounds were actually more from EC. A lot of the Underground artists, especially the early people like the guy who did Wonder Warthog, Gilbert Shelton, I think it was, and R. Crumb and Skip Williamson, you know, the guys at the very beginning of the Undergrounds. They were huge fans of Harvey Kurtzman and Madden, the comic. To the point where if you go to Kurtzman's magazine at Warren, Help, he actually had some Wonder Warthog stories. I believe he had some R. Crumb stuff in those as well. Terry Gilliam was in Help. Terry Gilliam, huge fan and later co-worker of Harvey Kurtzman. But they were not they really didn't care for the mainstream stuff. They didn't care for the superhero stuff. They didn't care for that. They were, especially Crumb. Crumb actually put out EC fanzines, self-printed fanzines for Kurtzman's Help, his run on an Odd Help, Mad. However, when it came to Image, a lot of the guys there, you know, they were superhero guys, so they were hugely influenced by Kirby to the point where if you go to Eric Larson's Facebook page, you can't friend him anymore because he has too many damn friends.
You can follow him,
but he will actually show this is why a Kirby page works. This is a page that doesn't work. Here is how Kirby does it. I am not the biggest fan of Eric Larson's art style, but I can see the Kirby influence in it to the point where when he tells the story about when Image was very new, he was talking with Liefeld about Kirby, and Liefeld was like a lot of people, I don't like Kirby, he draws knees weird, and his figures are square, and blah, 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 blah. And Larson sat down with him and said, no, you need to study Kirby, and here's why. Kirby does this, this is what you need to do, this is how to do this. I would say all of them at some point were heavily influenced by Kirby, but also if you look at early Image, they published the last Kirby created series during Kirby's life. There was the Topps Kirby verse, but that was all stuff that Kirby had in the files. Phantom Force, that was the one that Kirby wrote and drew that Image published, and then Kirby handed it off to his assistants. But the Image guys helped out with that. They did pinups, they did pages, they did stuff like that. So there you go. Joe is back, thank God, so now I can get a drink.
If you go by Gruber's booth and see a Dasani water bottle, it's mine. I got all excited. I just wanted to share some of the stuff that the so-called commission from Jim Keith, the comic artist on the strip,
Sally Forth. Oh, that's nice. Show it to the people.
Well, it's backwards, but basically it's Sally Forth wearing the Supergirl outfit I like going, "Really, Ted?" And he's saying, and I can't read backwards, Supergirl's costume in the 70s sure was liberating. He did a fantastic piece. Originally, he was just going to do a headshot like that, but he said to make the gag work, he actually went to full bodies. He does a little highlighting in the background. And I told him, I said, "You're a married guy. You know what we're talking about. Your wife's wearing something really, really nice and you like it." And she's like, "Oh, I don't like this." And they just never believe us. So I'll put that one on eBay. And of course, our good buddy Terrence Creep is back. I picked up the second, well, actually, this is Heroic Publishing #1, the sensational G-Girl. Not because I necessarily like her, but because it's the second appearance of Spider Baby. And then, of course, Terrence autographed it for me. Have not got a chance to read it, but I'll probably, review it. The other thing I just want to mention, I don't know if anybody out there is interested. Christopher Jones did this really nice print of our good buddy Nick Post as the Kingpin, and they're selling them for $5 each at the charity booth. Thing is last year they were selling them as well, so there's not a lot of heat on them. But if any of you guys out there want it, give Corey a text me, whatever. I'll give you my PayPal account. Send me $5. I'll ship it to you free. So it's up to you out in Australia. It's going to cost you a little more. So that's what I've been doing. Corey borrowed me his Monster Society of Evil book a while back. Oddly enough, the one I sold him. And a guy had one for $85, which is incredible because it's like $300 or more. And I looked at it, I was going to buy it, and I thought, I just want to read it. And you borrowed me the copy to read, and fortunately I went back and it's gone. So it's the old snooze you lose, because I was like, what, son, I'll buy it, I'll give Corey back his copy, blah, blah, blah. But, which is good, because Gruber's got a few pieces I want to see if I can't bargain. And the art auction's coming in about an hour.
I'm going to be left all alone during that art auction.
You are. That's why I came back, so you can go run away for an hour.
All right.
I have absolutely nothing to talk about, so I'll just let you guys watch the con, and if I can think of something, or I can wave somebody over.
Well, maybe you wave some people over.
Yeah, well, the thing is, right now, a lot of the dealers are busy doing their dealer stuff. And so, it's a slower day. Things are going a little more mellow. They're trying to pump out as much commerce as they want.
Well,
we did talk to Dan Jurgens a little bit. Passed by Xander Cannon. He's got Keiju Max here, which if you like Godzilla, you should really pick up. It's pretty sweet. So, other than that, Jen Wicked is busy doing her umbrella dance, keeping people going. Corey's going to be right back. Probably not. And like I said, my daughter's just busy hammering stuff out, trying to get the charity booth down. They've done really well. That's really all I got. Let me see if I can find if there's any questions. It's funny because one of the pieces in my Supergirl collection. Oh, damn it. Hey, Strode!
What?
Hang on. Never mind, I found it. No, I lost the live feed, but I found it. I actually got a Supergirl Australian comic book sent to me. I don't know if I posted it on my Facebook page because all the Supergirl stuff I tend to post. But it's actually kind of cool. I mean, obviously you guys speak English almost as well as us Yanks do. Who cares? I ain't going to England anyways.
Bye, everybody. I'm going to go buy comic books.
By the way, if you can count how many times I walked back and forth in the background while Corey was interviewing people, I'll send you something free for my vast accumulation of crap. Obviously, it's not here, but... I got nothing, really. Let's just sit back. Now's a good time to hit the bathroom if you need to. You can see, I'll move the microphone. If anything, we can watch the Diane May do her face painting. I did have a Butch sighting. He scammed $10 from me so he could buy a copy of Zombie Survival Guide, which is that's kind of kitty corner to us. Bud Hansel did some of the writing. Hey, Bud. Mark Stegbauer did some of the artwork. It was a lot of fun. I picked my copy up a couple of years ago, so that's kind of fun. And Holly, of course, scammed another $20 out of me, bought some video games. I'm such a soft sell. Oddly enough, Dana hasn't really hit me up. Of course, the funny thing is, and it is weird as you get older, Dana, you know, she's got a full-time job. She's got her own cash. She doesn't really hit me up. I mean, if we happen to go to, like, Big Brain, rest in peace, my friends. We're going to visit you before you close. Or hit the Source or Dreamhaven, which we love to go to. You know, I'll buy the comics. I want to encourage reading. And Dana and Holly, of course, now she's 16 and got her own job. So she's real proud of, like, buying things on her own. And I understand that. I mean, when I had my job, I lied to get my first job. I was at the House of Wong, which is a really, really good Chinese restaurant in Roseville, Minnesota. And, you know, back then that was like early 70s or late 70s. They didn't check IDs or birth certificates or anything. So, you know, I just lied, made sure I had the date right. So if they happened to ask what age I was. So hung there for a year, quit. Then worked at Sears way back in the catalog era. And this is kind of a mini Tales from the Shop. But one of the things they used to do at Sears is if you bought something and you returned it, the clothing they would return to the warehouse, but there were certain categories that would just end up in the store. Toys, tools, I can't think of any, maybe sporting goods, things like that. So we would write a transfer slip and send it over. So what ended up happening is I had if you remember Transformers, and who doesn't, a gigantic Devastator box set. Go ahead and eBay it. You'll see how much them damn things go for. As all 6 of the pieces, you put it together. I saw it come through, and I was all ready to buy it when it, you know, transferred down, go to the toy department. Never saw it. How you doing, Burl? And Burl from Source, awesome guy. And what happened? Brian Messick from Hot Comics got there, bought it before I got to it. And years later, when I was at the comic store, I was telling him, yeah, I saw this box. He had the Devastator set. I said, oh, there was one of them at Sears, and it went down to the toy department and it was gone. He goes, yep, I bought it. I said, son of a... So I actually worked at Sears for 10 years. Went from catalog, which tells you how old I am, to customer service. They kind of combined it. It was kind of funny because they always had a segregation where people didn't want to learn other things. I just want to stay in the catalog department. Well, I got bored waiting, so I'd learn customer service. Eventually, I learned how their order system worked. Like guys on the floor would order you a refrigerator, and we bring the paperwork up to the data inputter, and there were certain codes and certain ways. You know, I needed it this time, this type of color, blah blah blah. So I learned how to do that, which was cool because then I could walk to the store, gather the paperwork, and do this stuff upstairs and sit down in the back room for a while. So you learn a little extra, become a little more valuable. Nowadays, everything's done right on the computer, so it's not like it's a big paperwork intense thing. You get the receipt, and the paperwork takes care of everything else. As I quit Sears, of course, to open Hot Comics. You know, we actually bought Hot Comics. And what ended up happening there, in between, I ran pizzas for Pizza Hut. Same type of thing. You know, you had certain things you had to do. I got bored, so I learned how to take pizzas over the phone. You know, I was a delivery guy. I didn't have to do anything. And I think we've covered pretty much from there. After Hot Comics, I spent the summer home with the girls. I've been with TSA for 13 years. Opened up Crazy Comics during that time, hoping to strike it rich like I did with Hot Comics. And, you know, like I've always said, I got it to break even, but I could never get it to make money. And although the tax advantages were great, after talking with my wife, we just closed that down. Now, if I play it out right, 9 years from now, I can retire. And we'll probably still be doing the podcast. Hopefully you're still with us. I do got to give thanks, and I do it now because Corey's not around. He does 99% of the work. I get 99% of the smartassness, as you can probably tell. So as he's talking and gawking, and after we do the podcast, he sits down and he tightens it up. You know, there's pregnant pauses, lots of coughs and stuff. Edits all that out. He's learned how to do the software to hopefully, edit the levels a little better. I know we got Jen. I wish she wouldn't swear so fucking much because I'd really like to get the podcast back down to PG-13 level instead of the explicit rating we get. But what are you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? So kudos to Corey. Don't tell him I said that. See if I can figure out how this damn thing works. Hey! More than 10 times. No, I want an exact number. Actually, I have no idea how many times I walked back and forth. I came over to show Corey the stuff I got, and he was, doing those interviews so well. And eventually I'll end up doing the interviews. One of the things we had that little voice recorder we're going to run around, but we're having such a fun time just sitting here. Jen did a fantastic thing. She ran out, passed out some copies of her stuff to some of her friends, and told them to come on back. So that was kind of cool. Yeah, you got to watch out for them coughing farts. I hate them. All right, we'll go back to the thing here. You know, I think it wants to go home with you. It keeps jumping at you. I tried to get a hold of Dana to come over and talk, but she's busy hustling stuff. As my poor wife knows, anything that isn't sold goes into my garage for a year. You know, except the variant covers. I'll probably put some of them on eBay. Or not, I don't know. Wave, you're live on the internet. See, this is truly an all-ages show. That's just fantastic. Next year, I'm pretty sure we're probably going to do this again. A couple things we'll probably do. You see like the backdrops people have over there? We'll probably invest in one of those. We need some high-res art because the stuff we have that you see on our websites and stuff is low grade, and it doesn't look good when you blow it up. And then we can sit, right now I'm sitting in front of the sign. If you've been to our Facebook page, you see that white sign that Corey made. So people walking by not really knowing what the hell we're doing other than talking. Just fun when I can get people to wave and stuff. I'm basically a shy person, so I don't say much. I would like to maybe get a portable camera. We had one guy yesterday that I talked to who runs around and he does like selfies with the cameras as he talks to creators and stuff. And I would really love to, if I find his link, and like I said, I was going to go back and look at the show. Actually, I didn't say, but who cares? You're used to my talkages. I left my computer here at the fairgrounds where it's perfectly safe, but I didn't get to upload any pictures. I really just wanted to sit down and start going through this 8-hour thing and just kind of make, if anything, I don't know if Corey's going to do a best of. If anything, just kind of mark like, okay, at this point, Joe and Butch hold still for 5 minutes, you know. As you notice, my brain just shut off. I think I'll sneeze. Wait for it. Oof. That's what the live internet's for. Somebody's coming our way. I'll see if I can get their attention. He stopped. He's looking at the charity booth. Oh, the anticipation. Hopefully Hopefully they buy something. Wave, you're live on the internet. Don't matter if you wave or not, you're still live. I swear, when I had this thing facing the other way, everybody walked by, and now nobody walks by. I did spend $100 on this wonderful microphone, though. Where's Corey? I'm missing the chili cook-off. And don't worry about that Paul Fricky stuff. We'll edit that crap out. Oh, hey, Paul. I gotta watch what I'm saying. That wasn't me coughing. I tell Corey's right when he talked about the Comic-Con crud. I mean, my sword is taking a... Go ahead, wave. You're live on the interwebs. We're broadcasting. Oh yeah.
On TV.
We got people in Australia watching. Bless your heart, Malice friends. You is. Well, the interwebs, YouTube. Not as exciting as TV. Works for me. Cool. Here. This is our, the guy's channel is Corey Strode. And it's an 8-hour, he's been broadcasting the whole con, but eventually you can go find your spot. Take care, bud. One listener at a time. Hey, Mike. Mike's sick. He knows all about the Comic-Con crud.
I do? Okay, I do.
He does, poor guy. But he's here anyways, working hard. Or hardly working.
Hardly working.
Okay, it's all this.
It's Sunday.
It is Sunday. We're just waiting for the art auction to hit. No offense, but I'm going to go get some hand lotion.
Oh, that said hi. I thought that said hi. I thought you said hi.
That was one thing always at my old comic store. Somebody come in, start, you know, you can tell they have a cough or they're cold or sneezing or whatever, and then they hand you a $1 bill or something. Well, money is the most disgusting object. Oh, we got the Riddler here. Broadcasting live on the interwebs. My buddy and I does this here podcast here, and we always love a well-known celebrity to stop by.
I like to entertain folks myself.
Outstanding. That was who I was waiting for. We're broadcasting live on the interwebs. I don't know what he is, but he's got a knife and he's voting for Trump. I'm not messing with him. Contest number 53. Vote for him. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm waiting for. Anyways, like I said, a guy would cough, hack, whatever with money. You just got to keep your hands away from your nose, eyes, and face, because that's how you get that cold. And then as soon as he left the store and I could get away, hang on a second. I was trying to yell for my old partner to get over here, see if he could talk, but he's wandering around in a stupor. I actually donated some stuff to the art auction, which is kind of cool. Sometimes you just wait and let the crowd do all the action. Oh, hang on a second. We're broadcasting live on the interwebs. I want to show off your shirt. Fat Man! Were you lucky? Did you go see Kevin Smith last night? Tonight? Yeah. Outstanding.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
That's fun stuff. I've seen him once, a long time ago, but it's
I did last year. So.
Always entertaining.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks, man. When people saw that Kevin Smith was in town, they're like, oh, is he coming to the con? No. Yeah, I mean, if he wanted to come, we certainly wouldn't kick him out. I actually told the guy, send him an invitation. He might be sitting in a hotel room doing what, I don't know, whatever he does in a hotel room. You know, I mean, I traveled for a while. Those of you who have been listening to the podcast, it's not all fun, airports, hotels. Hopefully he could get out and see some stuff. I know a number of years ago he actually called us and asked if we'd have him as a guest, but I think Nick said no at the time because I don't think Nick liked Kevin Smith, and I love Kevin Smith. I mean, if you go back to the New Jersey podcast, I actually took a scrimmage down to his store in Red Bank, Jane Silent Bob's Secret Stash. It was fun. I think the other reason too is we're a big con, but we're not really hip on big guests because that would bring in security. It'd be awesome to have Jim Lee or Todd McFarlane here, other than if they have an appearance fee, because it would just be a logistical nightmare, something that the con guys avoid. Of course, Jim Lee, Todd McFarlane, if you're out there, you're always welcome to come. But we don't pay for guests because it's a volunteer-run show. There's not really a huge budget to make money. At the same time, when you do come here, you want to go talk to Joe Linsner, you want to get an autograph, you don't have to pay him. He did all those autographs for my daughter for free. Oh, credit card time. For those of you earlier in the show, I whipped out my phone and did a credit card order. We had absolutely no request for it, so I'm going to do it again. Before we do that, it's Monday. Oh, good thing we're not in Australia. The con would be over. Yeah, the costumes here are just amazing. My daughters and her friend have been running around. Today they've been concentrating on getting some of the cosplay going on. And we're going to post a lot of that. One of the other volunteers, Gwen, she's taking pictures. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And of course the MCBA Facebook page, which I work on, I think it's under Midwest Comic Book Association, is it's an open one. So you can go in there, see cons pass, see some of the cosplay. And I think they actually will post the people who actually entered the costume contest. New sale. All right, we're just waiting. Card reader connected. Hot snot, it works. So we'll just hang tight. You know what's kind of fun is as families go through, there's not a lot of bad girl stuff. Not that I'm saying it's bad, but you don't have to worry about your kids seeing something that. And of course, like I said, he's one of the big guys running the art auction. Not only running it, but he's also a formidable force because between him and his wife, if there's a piece they want, he's bidding against you. You probably don't want to bid against him. There's some really nice stuff. I've taken a picture of some of it, and again, I'm going to invest and see about having a live cam. So instead of having static shots of us, we could just whip around, see Jim dancing, and we go around and maybe talk to some of the people. And if I could do a shot of the art table, it's just fantastic. Whoops. Oh. All right. Well, I'm waiting. I know no credit card sale yet. I know we're excited to see it. I just moved my mic out of the way so you guys can really take a look at what's going on. Now, I would say If Corey's the best dressed man in comic, that was the maybe second best dressed man in comic. I have it on good authority. He called in sick to work, which is why he's camera shy.
It's not a competition, man. It just comes
I was just telling the folks, you are probably the second best dressed man in comics because Corey, despite the fact he's wearing jeans, insists he's the first dressed. I'll let you, the listeners, decide. Should we name him the best dressed man in comics and make Corey absolutely bitter for a year? You decide. Okay. Corey did buy a little website thing which allows us to do this live streaming, which is kind of cool. I just saw the lady who just walked by bought some stuff from our how much? 2,300? Okay, that sounds good. That's not funny unless they can hear me. Where is he? Have him come down. He's got to do a finger autograph. And plus, I can spend a few seconds on the podcast. Have a seat, quick. Don't be alarmed. You're just streaming live across the world. All right, let me give you a card back. What type of things did you get out of the charity booth?
I got mainly materials and bolo ties, as well as a book on designing yourself.
Oh, wow. Nice. And I think she just told you all the money goes to our charities we're working with. I also wanted him over because check out the jacket this guy's wearing. Fantastic. We're doing a live streaming. We're part of a podcast. I'll give you our card if you ever want to go online and see how good you look on the interwebs. Oh, yeah? Go ahead, tell us about it.
It's called Retro Future Act.
Let me move this over so you can be the star for a moment.
All right. My podcast is called Retro Future Active. What I do is I write little informational stories where I talk with creators about the joy of creation, where it came from. And I also look into old audio archives for old speeches and such. A recent episode was I found a old speech that Rod Serling, the creator of the Twilight Zone, gave in 1968 at UCLA, and it was shortly after the left got just pummeled in the election, and America was still in response to the Watts riots. And here was a gentleman, a very educated, compassionate gentleman who, for many people was kind of the conscience of the country with his Twilight Zone episodes, which forced empathy and brought it into the American homes. But he was speaking about how there were people on the right who were saying that the Watts riots were a perfect example of how and using the term at the time, how the Negro did not deserve the rights, and then how there was a large group on the left that were asking their black friends to be patient, let's try to get this, calm down, and they were brokenhearted that a small percentage of the population was, causing this representation. And then Serling rejects that, because saying that the idea of patience is not the right thing, because these are rights that are being denied these people. These are not our rights to give. These are rights that are denied, and we are just standing in the way of those rights, and that needs to stop immediately.
Where do you find this stuff?
YouTube, libraries, people.
Do you have any copyright problems, or is it just kind of?
Well,
because it sounds like it's historical stuff. I mean, this sounds fascinating.
And one of the ways I get around that is I have a benefit corporation. Now, my benefit corporation exists for the purposes of illumination, and it offers a service called Cult of the Month. It's a monthly subscription service where we enroll everybody into a new religion on the 23rd of every month. Sure. So the activities that these are occurring are actually happening within religions. So can you claim copyright over religious texts? So it becomes a double First Amendment right, both free
Never
speech.
had any problems?
Not yet, but I have a lot of friends who are lawyers, because eventually, if we do our job right, we will be sued. One of the things that one of the things that one of the religions, Wabi Sabi Do Easy, one of the cults of the month, it believes in the limitation of copyright extension. In America, the copyright keeps on getting extended, and basically what happens is every time Mickey Mouse is about to go into the public domain, they extend it. So, what would happen if
even if it is something falls in the copyright, they'll nail you on the trademark.
Yeah.
Or do something around the copyright thing.
And basically, what we need to do is have something kind of in the courts, in the line of courts to challenge this.
So it's very possible someday I'll go, hey, I remember this because we talked to this guy here at the con.
Well, and I'm heavily inspired by what Stephen Colbert did with super PACs. More people learned about how super PACs work by him demonstrating it, and that's what I'm doing with my corporation. I'm constantly placing myself outside my comfort zone. That way, I have to kind of go into this area and learn a lot about it. Me being a flaming leftist who didn't expect to live past age 30.
You should talk to my buddy Corey, who's big on it. He's one of those scary left guys because he knows his facts. He can quote documents and things like that.
So what I'm doing is using the same tools that the right is claiming is theirs by founding religions. Now, my corporation, being a corporate person, holds deeply held religious beliefs that guide its action, and those deeply held religious beliefs are whatever the cult of the month happens to be at that time. So it gives us a prime pivot point for satire.
I have a lot of views on corporations as people, but
exactly.
We're going to not go there.
So do I. So
I think we get along just perfect. Go ahead, drop your website or.
All right, I got a bunch of websites. Most of them go to the same place. There'll be a big refresh on May 23rd of 2016 on all the sites. But cultofthemonth.com, theoffensive.com, messiahcomplex.com, and we'll also be premiering a new web show, Persephone's Pinball Parlor and Puppet Purgatory. It's puppets playing pinball. Puppet Purgatory is a place where puppets go when they're not being used, so they don't go mad. Well, puppet on human murder was a real problem back in the 80s, and this was an answer to it. If you're staring at the same wall or in the same box for hours, and when you get out, you're going to go a little crazy. They need somewhere to go.
One of the guys on our podcast with the hat, he has a puppet named Wolfie that he's not using right now. You should go yell at him.
Yeah, well, no, actually, for all we know, Wolfie might be playing pinball up in Puppet Purgatory. I wouldn't want to interrupt the game.
He probably would like it.
Yeah. And it's the idea was to make a really simple show to create, to really look at the engineering of what it takes to create a show using current technology and current entertainments.
Well, you got a Facebook.
Yep.
Facebook.com. Ryan's. Am I saying that right?
Yep.
Ryan's Richards.
Ryan and S. Richards.
Ryan's S. Richards. Okay,
yeah.
So that's what I get.
Or if you go on Facebook and just look for Cult of the Month, you'll find our Facebook group. Cool. Ask to join, and as long as you're not selling Russian mail orders or cheap sunglasses, I'll let you in.
Corey, did you get out of that cheap sunglass business? Never mind, we're good. Cool. Well, fantastic.
Also, I want to do a shout out to Just Enough Trope, who I did a podcast with one of their.
Which one?
Just Enough Trope.
Okay.
And Aaron Corker, who is Caliban on that, is doing a new series of Star Trek podcasts where it concentrates on individual episodes. And I
had me at Star Trek.
Yeah,
I love Star Trek.
Yeah, I talked to him for over an hour about yesterday's Enterprise. So people basically come in and talk about one particular episode.
Fun.
So it's a lot of fun. Not all of them are going to be an hour and 7 minutes.
Well, yeah. When we started, we were thinking we're up to what are we at now? 261 episodes. We've been doing it for 5 years. We're like, oh, maybe we'll half hour. No, we've been known to go about 2 hours.
Yeah,
we got to stop now, otherwise we'll go on forever.
I did a Cult of Nick, which is a interesting podcast out of the UK. And again, it was supposed to be a 20-minute conversation, hour 40 later. This happens to me a lot. It happens when you're a mega
I gotta
poke.
feed him. I'm tired of him.
Here, give him something of sustenance. All right, well, it's been a pleasure.
Thanks for stopping
also,
by. Thanks
I'm
for,
deeply saddened by the passing of
yeah.
Darwin Cook.
Yeah, the con guys whipped us out really fast.
His Parker novels are some of my favorite pieces of graphic literature. They're glorious, and I had opportunity to drink and smoke with him on a number of occasions.
Awesome.
And he was if you read the Parker novels, Darwin Cook understood what it is to kind of to live the nitty-gritty hard life, and you know, he was his art style and passion that was uniquely his own, but called back to so many great influences. Will sorely be missed. So, all right. Hey, thanks a lot, man.
Thank you. Appreciate the stop by. Very sweet. I will post some of that on our Facebook page, although I know you guys out there a lot faster than I is. Our garbage can? I wonder, very odd. Could it be related to the story I said about our intruder? Maybe I will get a gun. I know while we were talking to Ryan there, I heard a baby do a face plant on the pavement. A little bit of crying, but it stopped. A litany of people coming by. Corey got some coloring book, but as usual, instead of sharing it with us, he's over there sharing it with Jin. Poor Jin just wants to dance. Ah, what the hell? I haven't moved the computer in an hour. Oh, now we're showing it to the cleavage girl. I know she has a name, but I mean, if you're gonna put a tattoo there, I'm gonna have to stare. So kind of beware. She looks about as happy as somebody watching cement dry. They're in Jin's way. All right. See, Corey would rather talk to the pretty girl with the nice cleavage than talk to us. So if you're a pretty girl with nice cleavage, you can talk to me. Let's see if I can figure out what's going on. Taya? Cool. Well, I'm gonna share it with you guys, but I'm just gonna get up and go, mainly because I have to hit the restroom. It's 2 o'clock here in the United States, Minnesota area, and I gotta go see what's going on with the art auction. Plus, I need a water bottle. So, of course, Corey will come back and wonder what the flaming blue hoodie's going on. It's been fun hanging with you guys. I'm glad you guys are whether you're with us live or gonna check us out later. I appreciate the snot out of it. Remember, that's just you and me. So I'll move the microphone so you can watch some of the action, catch some of that Riddler ass.
Hi, Mom. Big hi, muckety muck.
It's important to have.
I love that title. The other guy's right down here on the left. Oh, yeah.
Selection of my favorite comics from my online webcomic. They're $10 on my stage, $6 for this weekend. $5 art prints, and one of a kind of
What is that podcast about?
Huh?
What is the podcast? It's all about comics. The old Shindu store.
You know what that is? The Schindler store?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Newsstand type store. So they would have a mix of comics, pornography, and tobacco.
Oh,
Hello. The other guy in yellow.
Oh, and sports. So if you wanted comics and cards and stuff, it was a source for comics and cards. Is it a video podcast or an audio podcast? It's like a video podcast.
I'm assuming, yeah.
At some point, I'm not sure.
Yeah. I was gonna.
need to have a jacket on. That might be doing it a little bit more.
Okay, it's Wolfie's Corner. Now, the problem is I don't exactly know how to look for questions, but, you know, now's the time. Okay, Corey's across the table, so he can't stop me. Oh, do you have
taking kind of a mental break.
I don't care. A mental... Well, mental is correct, okay. Oh, a picture has been drawn. Very cute. But,
Final Fantasy.
Yeah, which one? Which version? The first one. Oh, that doesn't look 8-bit. But it looks better. It's awesome. Here, can you show the picture? Can you show the picture? Hold on a second. Look at that. Final Fantasy 1. Hey, but like I said, it's not very pixelated. It's cool. Yeah. Here, move the picture. The other way. Never mind. Anyway. They never do it. So, alright. I was trying to get exposure. So, let's see here. I'm guessing... here, hit that button. What's my favorite comic? Okay. That's her name. Taya. Yeah, well, I know it was Taya. Let's see here. What is my favorite comic? My favorite comic is Omaha the Cat Girl. Actually, that's one of my favorite comics. Really, any hentai works for me. Or whatever the comic version is. Slut Girl is good. Yeah. So, let's see, oh yeah, the cat dancer, sorry. Yes, I get a lot of exposure. I am naked. I'm not as naked as I could be. Trust me. And I do wear costumes. I have a Captain Adultery outfit. Yeah. Okay. Oop, more comments. Hold on. Okay. Try. Black said comics from Dark Horse. Okay. What's that about? Well, I'm going to ask questions to them. What's that about? Type it and I'll repeat it. Okay. Clippers? Send clippers because I'm naked? Well, okay, I guess we could shave me, but I don't think I would be very cute then. I mean, I look like a hand naked. It's not good. Hold on. See, there we go. I'm just not as cute.